A to point B, or talking to people, all of these got to come under one thing. It's act of worship. In my driving, I'm not only observing and watching the traffic control around me. No. Do. But first and foremost, I'm watching what God has told me to do, what He has been teaching me. To be good to people around me, not only because I'm good in driving or I'm watching the traffic control and so on and so forth, not to overspeed, but first and foremost, it is coming from the teaching of God Almighty to me in order to care about myself and care about people around me. That's why I'm taking my driving as a way of worship to Him first and foremost, and anything else would come second. And it would go on and on and on and on. This would give you the best quality of life ever. And the best way of dealing with life ever. I am doing this in my teaching, in my education, in my business, in my preaching, first and foremost, sincerely for Him first. And then for whatever the goals or reasons I'm doing this. 2, my prayers as a Muslim. 5 daily prayers with a window of time. Early morning, noon or around noon, and afternoon, and then sunset, and then evening prayer. Why 5? Why not 7? Why not 11? Why not 20? Why not only 3? Why not only 1? If you're asking me that question, I don't have an answer for you. But ask Him, question Him. He is the one who created me, and He knows the best for me, giving me that window of prayer to connect with Him. He knows what I'm supposed to be doing during the day and night in terms of prayer. Like with my employer, we do have a coffee break before lunch, and we have lunch time, and we have another coffee break, and maybe another one, and go home, and we'll see tomorrow. That's my employer policy and system. I am an employee for Him, and He is my absolute employer, and He has designed for me 5 daily prayers. You be engaged in them. When you come and face me, when you ask me, when you have that supplication, I am ready for you, and I am willing to do for you whatever you ask me for. That's the design. What I'm doing in my prayer, come individually or in congregation and face Him in one direction. And that direction, wherever you are, we have to face the sacred house in Mecca, which was built by Ibrahim and Ishmael, both of them. Again, to connect myself, my mind, my heart, my soul with the Abrahamic faith and with that wonderful contribution since the time of Abraham and Ishmael as a Muslim. Some people say, you're a Muslim of today, 2016. How you relate to Ibrahim? Yes, we do. And I'm here in that wonderful and a great and a special connection with Him in that wonderful meeting in the best elegant appearance ever, with the purified heart, to ask Him and have my supplication to Him and say, help me, guide me, tell me what I'm doing in my prayer. And in my prayer, I have to submit totally to His will. I have to be absolutely in submission to His will. Having those moves of the prayer, especially that one, the most significant one in my prayer, when I have to have my forehead along with my nose and with my hands and knees and toes totally in the ground to Him, I am in absolute submission to you. But why in that position in particular? Humble yourself. Remember, when your forehead and nose would touch the ground, not that very fancy carpet there. Once in a while we have to do it in the backyard or front yard, to let the dirt touch your forehead and nose, to remind you, humble yourself, and to remind you, we were created from dust and clay, and we'll go back when we die to dust and clay. And your life in the middle, you have to manage it with absolute humbleness. When you relate to people around you, you're not above anyone. You're not much better than anyone. You're not greater than anyone. Make yourself always, always, always down to earth, and respect people, be kind to them, relate to them, take care of them, help them. This is what my prayer would do for me. That's why it is in that 5 times daily prayer. In order to remind me, because I'm a human being, because I can forget something. So I have to practice this over and over and over. So once I'm done with my prayer, with Him, God Almighty, come to you people, remind yourself, humble yourself. Humble yourself. Relate to people. Help people. Because if you'd like to summarize Islam in one word, it is the relationship. Ad-Din al-Mu'amala. How to relate to people. And this is why during my prayer, I'm learning this. In your standing in your prayer, if you'd like to go science and biology and physiology, what they have been telling us today, you're standing in that position, holding your hands, the left one, and have the right one on the top, and both of them holding closely to your heart in order to hear your heart beat while you're praying. They have told us that this is the ideal position for a human being, where your head above your neck and above your shoulder and with your thighs and with your feet and with your shoulder, the best situation ever for anyone to stand in this position. You can be in this position for hours. No tiredness and no fatigue. You may try it and you find out. When it comes to bowing down, where your hands are holding your knees, with that wonderful position, you're giving your spinal cord and the rest of your body another position to comfort you. And you come up again, and you go down again with your forehead and nose and toes and fingers touching the ground along with your knees, with that position there. You know what? Recently, if anyone happened to have a middle ear trouble, just recently they are telling us that this science, this is medicine, be in this position to bring back that balance to your body, because your middle ear is totally responsible for that balance. Imbalancement, it cannot be done unless you do that. Don't tell me medication. Don't tell me other treatment. No, it is this position. So I'm doing this over and over and over in my prayer in order to make sure that I do have that balance. I do have that balance there. One more thing in our prostration. When you're having your head and your nose and your toes and your fingers and your knees there, think of yourself with the electromagnetic things inside you. And they are in millions. But sometimes they are too much for you to carry. The only way to let some of them out, you have to touch the ground. It is the positive and negative theory. In order to let all of those electromagnetic things, waves in your body, to be out in order to secure your comfort. It is not only the act of worship, but it is to make my life much, much better than you can imagine. In my prayer. Can go on and on and on in the prayer, but that's enough for today. Fasting the month of Ramadan. 29 days or 30 days or fasting down to dusk, no food, no drink. And some people would say, are you torturing yourselves, guys, Muslims? How can you stand it, especially in the summertime, because it rotates. We'll go according to the lunar calendar. Maybe 3 in the morning till about 9:30 in the evening, and they would come to you and say, not even a sip of water? No. Not even a little snack? No. No food, no drink. Are you again torturing yourself, putting yourself in that position in order to show your obedience to God Almighty? No, 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 no. It's not only this, to be obedient to Him. But I'm learning and I'm teaching myself and I'm training myself how to be in self-discipline and control. If you can say no to food, no to drink, I can say no to violence. I can say no to terrorism. I can say no to unkindness to people around me. I can say no to drugs. I can say no to violence. I can say no to any bad things in my life. These are my basic needs. If I'm trained to say no to them, I can say no to anything around me as long as it harms me and harms people around me and harms my community and my society. This is one, self-discipline. When I'm hungry and thirsty, during the day, of course, by sunset, I can eat whatever I would like to eat, but be my guest when you try this after 2-3 days, your stomach would be shrunk. For those who are trying the dietary system, you cannot have the same amount of meal or food, so you'll eat less and less and less. This is good. Take this wonderful advantage to lose some weight. It's a wonderful dietary system. And by the way, from the medical point of view, fasting has been proved to be the best way ever for those who do have diabetes too. To control your insulin in your body, the best way ever. 1400 years ago was in the Quran teaching. We benefit from it. Hungry and thirsty during the day. Have you ever thought of millions and millions of people, not only in this country, but all over the world? Maybe by the end of the day, they will never find a piece of bread to eat or a sip of fresh water to drink. I am hungry and I'm thirsty. Feel for them. Give to them from God has bestowed upon you. Share with them from His bounties. That's what Islam is teaching us Muslims. So that's why I'm taking that very intensive course of fasting during the year, 1 month, to keep me going for the rest of the year, 11 months with that attitude, with that contribution. Care and share and develop a wonderful relationship for those who are in need. Are we thinking about refugees everywhere now? Yes. In thousands? Yes. In millions? Yes. And some of them, even here in this country, are eating from garbage cans because no one would care about them. Someone would claim that let them go to apply for food stamps and they can get something, assistance from the government and so on and so forth. I pay my taxes for that. No, that's not enough. You do it in your own. How come by the end of the day, evening time, you go to bed full stomach while millions of people around you, maybe in your neighborhood, never eat a meal during the day? What Islam is teaching us during the fasting in the month of Ramadan. That's why we celebrate it. And in here in our congregation, we love to invite people from other faiths to come and celebrate with us. And for many years, they are accepting that invitation to come. And by the way, I extend my invitation to my dear friend Gary and all of you during Ramadan to come and be our guests to share with us the celebration of the month of Ramadan. I will remember. I will email you. I will never forget. Just to celebrate with us. Following this, it would be the zakah or the charitable contribution or the money or the bounty that God has given to me. I have to share part of it with those who are in need. Calculate whatever your income is in your saving, the extra money you have, 2.5%, and pay it for those who are in need in annual basis. Some people would come and claim that I paid my taxes already to Uncle Sam. Why I should pay that charitable contribution again? No. For Uncle Sam, this is for the roads and hospitals, you name it. But coming from me, 2.5% for those who are in need. Maybe they shy away from the government to go ask for some help or support or assistance. I am the one who is responsible for them, to give them from my charity, my charitable contribution, 2.5% from my saving money. Plus, during the month of Ramadan, pay them for each and every single person, member of your household, equal to $10. If you're 5, multiply by 10, it is 50. Give those 50 to those who are in need. If you do not know who those people who are in need, bring it to the masjid, bring it to our Islamic center, and we'll take care of it, either to send it to people locally or send it to people overseas. That's social solidarity, where Islam is teaching us. Take care of those who are in need around you. Eliminate that envy when the poorest of the poor would look at you, look at your house, how big it is, the location of your house, where it is, and the other things around you, how many cars you own, how type of cars you're driving, and they have nothing, and look at you and say, why him? Why not me? As a human being, that feeling of envy would be there. But taking care of them, they will never think of you negatively. They say, I know someone, he's my neighbor who's taking care of me, who's helping me and my children around. So again, you're bringing that wonderful solidarity among the community. Don't wait for Uncle Sam to do it. We do it ourselves. We do it ourselves. This is the wonderful teaching of Islam in terms of zakah. Hajj. Once a lifetime, you go to again to Mecca to perform your pilgrimage, if you can afford it. If you can't, you're exempted. If you can afford it, go there. It's expensive, yes, about $8,000. You have to take 2 weeks off. But you go there, again to relate to Abraham and Ishmael. You relate to those holy places there. You will be there to purify yourself, your soul, and your mind, and your heart, in order to be connected with those sacred places where Abraham was there, where Ishmael was there, where Muhammad was there, with some other prophets. Believe in it. And you have that wonderful feeling in order to purify yourself, coming back as if you're newborn. All of your sins have been wiped off. You start a new person, and you have this in annual basis. If you can afford it once, if you'd like to do it twice, that's fine, if you can afford it. So these are the 5 pillars of Islam, along with the 5 pillars of faith, and all of them work hand in hand in order to give me the comprehensive way of life. I don't have to question anything around me. If I do have the question, go to the main source of the teaching of Islam, Quran, or the other source of teaching, the tradition of Muhammad. If you cannot relate to any one of them, go to a scholar, go to an imam, and ask him how you helped me in that issue. I know there is a lot of questions in mind you may ask. I forget to tell you about chapter 3 in the Quran. The title is Women. Women. Women's rights and women's obligation and women's responsibility. It would summarize for us one concept: justice. Not with that misconception about women in Islam. Second-class citizen, eat from the leftover, walk behind her husband, no decision making in the household. No, Islam would teach us. Here you are the most dignified human being ever, simply because you carry us in your belly for 9 months. You have breastfeeded us for a couple of years. You wake up during the night in order to take care of us. You take care of us all over. Even when we're married, even when we have children, even when we have children of our children, it's still mom there. That's why paradise in the teaching of Islam has been under the feet of women, of wives, in order to reward them for what they have done. But let's distinguish between what some Muslims are doing toward their wives or sisters or moms or women and what the teaching of Islam is. Comprehensive way of life, we have it. Very proud of it. We're so happy about it. And that's why our life is going on really well, as long as we stick to the teaching of it. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. We're asking God Almighty to guide us to the best way ever, to help our community ever. Most gracious and most merciful, shower all of us with your mercy, shower all of us with your justice, shower all of us with your forgiveness, Ya Allah. Guide us to the best way ever to help ourselves and to help the community around us, to help everyone who is in need. Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen. Allahumma اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين وعلي بفضلك راية الحق والدين. انصرنا على عدوك وعدونا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا وفك أسرانا وكن لنا ولا تكن علينا ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. عباد الله، إن الله يأمركم بثلاث وينهاكم عن ثلاث. إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمني ويرحمكم الله واستودعكم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح.